Hello and welcome to Kingston Now. I'm Jimmy Buff. This week we catch up with Chronogram magazine editor Brian Mahoney. We'll introduce you to Elijah and the Moon, a great local band, and have some in-studio music. And we'll start with Gary Newkirk, the manager of the Ulster County Fair, going on now through Sunday at the fairgrounds in New Paltz. Hi, Gary.
How you doing?
I'm all right. So it's the 126th edition, is that right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How did it start? I would assume that the fair, when it started 126 years ago, was, for lack of a better description, more utilitarian. Like there were more farmers in the area. Agriculture seemed to have a more active role in day-to-day life. Is that an act?
That's exactly how it started. It was actually started by the farmers back then. It was kind of got to be a competition. They were talking about who had the best racehorse, who had the best vegetables, who could grow the best corn, the women who could make the best jam. And so that's how it all started. They started to get together and have a little bit of a competition, and it grew into what we now know as the county fair.
And of course, a large part of the county fair is the entertainment value, but even 126 years ago, it seems like it must have been kind of fun to show up and root for your favorite farmer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was the social event of the year back then. People would come, they'd get together, and they started having picnics at the things, and everything just kept growing. And then I must have thought they needed entertainment, and the ride somehow got into the fair industry, and it's just blossomed into a huge industry today.
The Ulster County Fair is really kind of one of the highlights for the area. People have it on their calendars, they go every year. How much of a year-round thing is it for you and the people who run the fair?
Well, we basically start planning next year's fair immediately when we shut down. It's a year-round thing. We get together right after the fair, obviously, and we kind of check everything, how things went, what needed to be fixed, what worked, what didn't work. And then we actually start looking at entertainment. We start booking entertainment in the November timeframe to be ready for the following year. And all the preparations just start right over again. So it's pretty much year-round.
So that entertainment booking, it's Wednesday night and you go through Sunday, so you've got music tomorrow night and Friday night and Saturday, right?
Correct. Yep.
Who are you looking at for entertainment, and who is lined up for the next few days?
Well, tonight we obviously have Easton Corbin, which will be a great draw for us, we're hoping. And then we follow that up tomorrow night with Joe Diffie. And Friday is Cook and Bell. Saturday is the Lost Trailers. And then Sunday we close with Jason Michael Carroll.
And are these acts sort of on the county fairground circuit, or are you pulling them off of their tours to route through?
It depends on the act. A lot of times if they go on tour for the whole summer, then we are not unable to get them for the fairs. But traditionally they tour around and do a lot of the fair circuits. It's a big part of their business. You have to remember there's over 50 county fairs in New York State alone. So if you multiply that times the 50 states, there's a lot of opportunity for the acts to perform at the county fairs.
And there's so much more going on at the county fair than just the music, the entertainment. For instance, there is still agricultural competition,
well,
right?
That's it. That is our roots. Our charter says we promote agriculture, educate the public in agriculture, and in Ulster, we basically divide our fairgrounds in half. The backside of our fairgrounds is totally dedicated to the animals. We have dedicated cattle barn, a dedicated sheep and goat barn, rabbit barn, poultry barn, draft horse barn, and that's where we really try to, that's our roots. We try to stay the old-fashioned country fair, and we try to keep that totally separate. You'll never find a food vendor or anything like that back on that side of the fairgrounds.
And there's education that goes on too, like 4-H is on site,
4-H
right?
is a phenomenal part of our fair. They take over one of our largest exhibit halls, and they have all kinds of exhibits, demonstrations, education sessions, and it's just a great opportunity for the youth of the county to be able to show the projects they have been involved with all year and the animals that they have raised and trained. So it's a great addition to our fair.
In recent years, it seems like the farmer has sort of started to get more attention again. There might have been some lean years where farmers were overlooked in what they're doing. Has that sort of translated to the fair itself?
It has certainly helped. The traditional farm, like we used to think about it, the large farmers with lots and lots of cows, but now we're getting back more into the little backyard farmers, the buy local things that are going on. And so there seems to be a a newborn interest in agriculture.
And for the kids who were up late watching this, or maybe watching it on YouTube, they're saying, yeah, but what about the rides?
Of course, there are rides. We have probably over 30 rides coming here, and from everything from small kiddie rides to ones that you wouldn't get me on for $1 million.
That's right.
That is not my favorite part of the fair.
Yeah. And there, of course, are food vendors as well.
All kinds of great food. Everything from candied apples to steak sandwiches, sausage and peppers, funnel cakes, French fries, you name it.
You guys have a pay one price admission?
We do. It's $15 to get in, and the nice thing, it includes everything. Parking is free, all the entertainment is free, and the rides are free.
Yeah, though you have an interesting, for kids, it used to be kids under a certain age were free, but now you've gone to a height requirement,
We got to a
right?
height requirement because of the requirements on being able to get on the rides. So basically, kids under 36 inches get in free.
Is there a beneficiary of the funds, or does it go right back into next year's fair?
It goes right back into next year's fair or improvements in the grounds. I mean, everything goes back into the fair, either on the grounds or maybe having a little bit more money for advertising the next year, or different money for different acts and things like that. But
So what's the schedule for the fair from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week?
the gates open at 10 o'clock, and then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night we're open. Wednesday, Thursday we're open until 10, Friday, Saturday till midnight, and then we close at 8 o'clock on Sunday night.
It is, as I said, a highlight of every summer, the Ulster County Fair. Gary, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. You're watching Kingston Now. Next, it's Brian Mahoney of Chronogram to talk about the upcoming issue and about a big block party Chronogram is having in Kingston next month. Stay with us. Welcome back to Kingston Now. Chronogram magazine is one of the region's best homegrown publications, and here to tell us why is editor Brian Mahoney. Why? What makes you guys so good? And you really are good. The book looks terrific. The layouts are great. The articles, the writers. How has Chronogram developed from when it first started 15 or 16 years ago to where it is today?
Well, the first part of that is the Hudson Valley is great. So that's what I always say. So the people who contribute, the 100 or so people who write articles, who design the magazine, who shoot the photography, all of our staff, they're all awesome. And so then the stuff we cover is great. And so, this issue in July, Joel Griffith, Deputy Mayor of Tivoli, also a hyper-realist painter. The guy's in his 30s, he's just doing his thing. And so the Hudson Valley is filled with those types of people, and we're turning over more and more, each month. It's not like we're going to run out. My book's editor, Nina Schengold, and I had a conversation a couple of years ago, and she was like, so she profiles a different writer every month. And she's like, I'm going to run out of writers. And, we're not running out, The Hudson Valley it's a hot time to be in the Hudson Valley right now. We're really in the ascendant in so many ways. You go out to a party and you're like, oh, you just moved from Brooklyn. Oh, you just moved from Chicago. Oh, and these are smart, creative people who are coming to the Hudson Valley for the lifestyle.
The state of print media, how is that affecting Chronogram? Because things have changed. Like, our paper of record here in Kingston, the Daily Freeman, has gone from this to this to this, and they put a lot of their effort now online. What about Chronogram?
We're doing some of that. The Freeman's actually done, I think, some really interesting things online. They have shifted their repertorial staff to be these multimedia producers, which has been great. As a monthly, we don't have that same focus, and also, our mandate's slightly different than the Freeman as the paper of record, as it were. For us, not a lot has changed. We don't have to fight Google. We don't have to fight the huge digital brands. So our transition has been slower and more thoughtful. We did just relaunch our website in November, which was great, and I'm very pleased. We got a great provider that does only publication, so we use this out-of-the-box thing, but the face is amazing. We can serve a lot of video. We can do a lot of audio. Our podcasts. So we're on episode 22 of our weekly podcasts, and you know this from radio. I didn't realize doing radio was so much fun.
Yeah.
Just sitting like this and just chatting, and and just letting the conversation go where it goes. Print especially is very thoughtful and measured, and over thought and measured sometimes. Every word, every design, which is great, and I love that, and it's easily editable. Doing radio, doing television, you want it to be good the first time. You get one take, and you're done. And with our podcast, I mean, that's what we do. We do 25 minutes, no breaks, no outtakes, just this is the conversation. Where is it going to go? We don't know. But it's great then to bring in someone like Maria Todaro from the Phoenicia Festival of the Voice, and she's a personality. And so you can get all of that, and you can get all of the greatest people. We're going to have the Bindlestiff Circus people in because they're doing a residency at the Spiegel tent. So I get to then meet all of these people that I sometimes don't meet.
The thing too about Chronogram is that you're still free. You come out monthly, you're in all sorts of great locations, and so you're not going to be challenged. Or people aren't going to say, well, I'm not going to pay for Chronogram because I can get it for free on the website. You're free, right. The print is free, the website is free, and you also have gotten into social media pretty big.
Yeah, well, at a certain point we realized that Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, you needed to be there. And so, we had to staff up to do that. And so we have people who are, it's not their sole responsibility, mm-hmm. but it's something that is, necessary for us. It also, I think, helps us in another way be as current as possible. We can put anything up on the website that we want at any time. But then with Facebook, it's like, oh, look, we just found this out, The magazine has an August issue just about ready to come out. Give me a couple highlights, and then let's talk about the big block party that you've got coming up in Kingston in a couple weeks' time. The block party, the thing I've been spending a lot of time on. The August issue, so we just went to press yesterday, and yet it seems like years ago. We're doing probably the most controversial piece we're doing is Eric Francis, our astrologer, is also an investigative journalist, which is always an interesting kind of set of hats that he wears. So what he's done has been looking at the Mohonk Preserve. And in particular, their dealings with some of their neighbors on Clove Road. Karen Pardini and Mike Fink are large private landowners there. They own about 250 acres. And they've been in a series of lawsuits with the preserve and other land conservancy organizations. And there are some questions about how the land conservancy organizations strategized to try and sue this couple to basically what looks like a land grab. Although we do not characterize it as such in the magazine, the facts are there. But they did just recently win a lawsuit that Mohonk had brought against them, this couple, Mike Fink and Karen Pardini. So Eric kind of goes into that and looks at some of what the shadier dealings are. And it's interesting because Mohonk Preserve, they oversee 8,000 acres. They do a great job. They are well respected in the community. But I think even in these organizations where we think of as squeaky clean, perhaps sometimes the ends justify the means.
Well, that is going to be controversial because they are such a beloved and great organization locally. The block party. Tell me about the block party quickly in Uptown Kingston.
August 17th, Saturday, 4 to 11 p.m. It's our 20th anniversary.
And you're leaving out the bargain price of?
Free.
Free.
We have some great sponsors who have, helped us plan the event, and so we're really pleased to have them on board, and they've helped, to make the event, what it is.
Terrific.
Health Quest among them.
Brian Mahoney, always great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Lovely to be here.
This is Kingston Now, and coming up, some good new local music from Elijah Wolf-Christensen and Elijah and the Moon. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Kingston Now. Some terrific local music is made in the area, and some of the newest great local music is made by Elijah and the Moon. And with us today is Elijah Wolf-Christensen. First, before we find out about the band, let's hear some music from Elijah.
Where'd you go, my only love? I heard you wished me dead. For every kiss you give will fade, so I'll follow right back to you. And when you go, my only child, I heard you wished me well. For night will come and morning too, and I'll follow right back to you and feel your lonesome light. Fear the night that we spend side by side. And where'd you go the night I left, when God took you straight to the sky? A mighty roar that takes me home, so won't you dance with my eyes? And when you see me lying down, you know, but you don't have a say. A mighty roar that takes me home, so won't you dance with my eyes? And feel your lonesome, lonesome life. Feel the night that we spend side by side. And feel your dark and lonesome, lonesome life. Fear the night that we spend side by side. And when you go, my only love, I heard you wished me well.
Elijah Wolf-Christensen, what a wonderful tune. In fact, I was saying to you before we rolled cameras that there's a lot of great music in the area. A lot of people can sing, a lot of people can play, but the thing that really puts someone a cut above the rest is the songs, and you have terrific songs.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell me about the one you just played.
Well, that was actually the last song we recorded for the album. I actually wrote it after we finished tracking the whole thing. We were finished recording, and we left the studio, and we were, a month later all doing our thing, and I said, we always constantly talk throughout the entire recording process how no matter what we do to the songs, no matter how produced they become, no matter what we add, the arrangements, they have to stand alone. If we were to play it around a campfire, there has to be this magic that just can be performed wherever. So I decided at that point it was time to just write one song where it's completely live, no mixing really. Just I wanted to go into the live room, play it, and put it on the record, and that was that. So I called up my engineer, and we went into the studio like a week later and just recorded 5 live versions and chose the best one.
It's terrific. The we you speak of, the Moon, is the rest of the band who are not here today. Tell me about them quickly.
Well, we have Gianluca Minucci, who's one of the most amazing bassists I've ever played with, and arrangers as well. Kenneth Trotter, who's a violinist, also incredible. And then freshly added, we have Jeremy Wexler, who's another incredible musician I'm honored to play with.
Let's actually, we've got a great clip of you guys doing a song called Stompin', so let's roll the full band, Elijah and the Moon, here on Kingston Now.
Yes.
It's alright if you walk out. It's alright to tell me I'm wrong. And even if the dark night comes again, and burns through each and every head in sin, and as we did some moonlight, stopping through the summer night, and even in the sunlight, maybe we could be alright. It's alright for this to end if you've tried the best you can. And even if the sun will follow death may too, and take away the life that you once knew. Whoa. And as we did some moonlight, stopping through the summer night, yeah. And even in the sunlight, maybe we could be alright, yeah. And as we did some moonlight, stopping through the summer night, yeah. And even in the sunlight, maybe we could be alright, yeah. So give me back this time, free this broken mind. and bury this young boy deep beneath the ground. So give me back this time, free this broken mind, and bury this young boy deep beneath the ground. Oh, 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 oh. And as we did some moonlight, stomping through the summer night, yeah. And even in the sunlight, maybe we could be alright, yeah.
That's Elijah and the Moon. The new album is called The Lonesome World Beyond the Trees, and it's available August 6th. That's it for this week's show. Thanks to Gary Newkirk of the Ulster County Fair. The fair runs through Sunday at the fairgrounds in New Paltz, and you can get more information about it at ulstercountyfair.com. Thanks to Brian Mahoney of Chronogram. Find them and info about their upcoming block party in Kingston at chronogram.com. Thanks again to Elijah Wolf-Christensen. Check out ElijahAndTheMoon.com to listen to more of their terrific music and to buy the new record. Remember, all of our previous shows are available on our YouTube channel, and you can find that link on our Facebook page. For Kingston Now, I'm Jimmy Buff. We'll see you next time.
And shake our fists at the sea and say goodbye to the old lives we lived and drink to